Welcome back to the Leicester City Women's Wrap-Up Show. It's been so long since we've been able to say this, but we're back. James is with me. How are you, James?
Yeah, not too bad. Good to have you back as well, because you weren't very well last time we recorded.
Yeah, I mean, we've both been super busy, so it's good to be back on the grind, back to the usual. The season's coming up. We start on Saturday against Aston Villa. How are you feeling about this season?
Quite excited, to be honest. It's been a long time coming. It seems ages ago since we won the league.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems months and months ago. So yeah, really excited. Hope it's going to be a good season.
I definitely think it will be a good season, and it's clear that Leicester are prepared to take on the WSL. We've seen tons of new signings coming in. How are you looking at these signings? I think we've made some really good moves personally.
Yeah, they're not the signings I thought we'd get. It was difficult end of last season. I thought who would stay, who would go, but I think we've made some magnificent signings. Sigsworth and Flint up front are going to be absolutely amazing. We've seen what she did at Man United. And them two together, I think, are going to be an absolute goal machines. I think defenses are going to be terrified of them too, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of questions of people asking me, well, aren't you worried about chemistry within the squad with all of these new signings coming in? And every time I've said no, because you see that there's at least one player that's been at Leicester that has had a relationship with this new signing. Like, we're seeing tons of posts together, like in the past or from now, like people reuniting is what it looks like. So I definitely think that the chemistry is going to be great. Plus, we have like McManus and Sigsworth who have played at United together, linking back up again together. We've got signings coming in from Everton, and we've got Kirsty and Hannah that have previously been at Everton. So it's just a whole big reunion, it looks like. So I personally am not worried. And our squad is full of really great people. So I think it's going to be great. I think everything's going to go really smoothly. I'm excited. So there's just so many signings. I have a list because I had to make sure I had everyone. We've got Abby McManus who came in, Georgia Braham. I'm so sorry if I butcher any names. We've also got Abby Grant. We've got Gemma Kerfield. We've got Molly Pike. We've got Connie Schofield, who's just recently joined us, and Sigsworth. Like, I'm trying to make sure I've named everyone because there's so many new signings, but it's going to be a really exciting season. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think touching on the chemistry point as well, we touched on this last season that they were such a family together.
Mm-hmm.
They won the league because they were helping each other out, and I think that happened on and off the pitch. The players we spoke to, we also spoke to Jade and Jonathan, and they had that kind of ethos that we were a family. We're going to stick together. They were like these band of sisters,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the signings have come in, and from what we've seen on social media, and speaking to other people, that's carried on, and that's kind of bonded together and carried on well together. And I think that's helped them a lot. That chemistry has been there from the start,
Mm-hmm.
and bringing these girls into that kind of chemistry, it wasn't going to be an easy job, but they seem to have managed it quite well. And I think Jonathan and team, that's one of the things they always work on, that everyone's good on and off the pitch.
Absolutely, exactly. And we even saw Sigsworth and Flint working on a handshake together already for when they score together. And there's a point where I put out a tweet because we had one of our many preseason fixtures behind closed doors that we knew nothing about. And one of the pictures I posted, it looked like Flint was the goal scorer because of the celebration they were doing. So I made a tweet about it, and then she replied and said, no, like, this was all Sigsworth. This was her. I provided the assist, and she scored the goal. So clearly they already have like that link up going, which is really awesome to see. So I'm excited to see those two up top and whatever else we may add or change up. So I mean, we might be seeing some changes this season. I'm not sure. So it'll be really fun to see. I feel like we might be surprised, might not. Either way, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think it's been difficult as a fan because obviously they've played a lot behind closed doors, probably due to signings, etc. So we've not really seen them play or what formation they've been playing in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing that I would love to have seen, if who's played, what the formation's been, how did they play. So as a fan, I'd love to have seen at least one game pre-season, just to see how they're going and to build the excitement. But it kind of is what it is. Got Villa on Saturday to start the WSL, and I'm really, really excited for it.
Yeah, and looking at our preseason fixtures, we played a lot of games. I feel like it was more than 5, I think. I want to say around 7, but I can't keep up because there were so many. So I think that we kind of have that preparation under our belt. We see some clubs haven't had any preseason games, like Man City haven't really done a ton. I'm not sure about I don't think any other side has played as many as we have in the WSL. So you can tell that they're really preparing themselves to go up into the top flight. We've played Spurs, we've played Chelsea, we've played Birmingham. I'm trying to think of the other WSL sides we've played. Like, there's so many. So I think it'll be good. Plus that 6-1 win against Liverpool to kind of start things off, that was brilliant.
Yeah, totally agree. And now the new signings have started to embed in as well. And I think that's only good that they've started to play a lot of games together. I think it'd be difficult to bring that many signings in and go into the first game cold together.
Yeah.
You need to build that partnership. And like you say, Flint and Sigsworth are already doing that. They're already assisting each other. They're already trying to do handshakes when they score. So it shows that they're currently already playing well together, and it seems to be a good partnership.
It's going to be really fun to see those two together, but it's also going to be really great to see players coming back. We see Paige Gayle has made a return from injury. She scored against Spurs in our preseason fixture, and I'm so happy that she's back because she provides so much. She's got that speed down the wing. She provides those assists. She slots them in herself. It's going to be really great to see her back, and I'm so glad that she's over that injury. So fingers crossed that it stays that way. It'll be really fun to see her.
Yeah, I'm so glad that she seems to have got over the injury. Like I say, she's played pre-season. I think that's great. Seeing her pace down the wing again is going to be unbelievable in the WSL. I think she's one hell of a player. I think one other player to look out for, I know we've made a lot of signings. Sam Tierney last year was getting better and better as the season went on. I'm really looking forward to seeing what she brings this season.
Absolutely. She's a wall at the back. She helps keep things out. She had that amazing performance against Durham, putting 2 past them to help us secure promotion. And it's safe to say she's an all-around defender. The fact that she scored those 2 crucial goals as a defender against Durham, I think that says a lot about who she is as a player.
Yeah, she's only young as well, so I think she's just going to get better and better and develop with the team more and more. So I'm really excited to see what she does this season. I think she's going to go on to do great things.
And you mentioned that she's young. Leicester has so many young players, which I tend to forget about. We've got so many who are in that 20s range or under 20. We've got Shannon O'Brien. We've got LaShante Paul. We've got Paige Gayle. We've now got Molly Pike as well, who's in that age range. And these are all players that have phenomenal talent and have been nothing but consistent and critical for the squad. So I think that we're going to be going up into this top flight with this young group, but it's also a group with experience. So I keep saying it's going to be a lot of great things, but I think these are young players who are prepared to show themselves and show what they offer in the WSL as much as they did in the championship, if not more.
Yeah, I think the young players are going to be great. They've got nothing to lose. Go out there and show people what they can do. And I think it's great to see. I read the other day that Jonathan speaks to Brendan Rodgers of the men's side quite a lot. They make sure they help each other out. And that ethos throughout Leicester City is the same. Men's team have got quite a lot of young, women's team have got quite a lot of young. And I think it's going to be great to see how they do in the WSL. I'm really excited for this season. I think them young players are just going to get better and better as they develop with that through the season.
And it's going to be really exciting to see these young players up against these really big, well-known teams. We're going to be facing Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal. I believe we have like all of those back-to-back. The men's side don't have that like list of hellish fixtures, but our women's side do. So it's going to be great seeing how these young players can perform against them, because we saw Shannon O'Brien put one in against Chelsea, and that's a huge side. That's a difficult side. That's a team that I'm scared of personally. But the fact that we've got these young players already going in and scoring against these sides, I know it's preseason. Preseason doesn't mean anything sometimes, but it's still really impressive.
Yeah, I think one thing that I probably wanted to talk about was squad depth. Last year in the Championship, a few injuries. I don't think we really had the squad depth that you'd probably want, which is obviously why we've made these signings. But now our squad depth seems to be really good. Even when players go off now, you can see young players such as Shannon coming onto the pitch and running at defences. And I think it's great that we've now got that squad in depth.
Yeah, exactly. We've brought in so many of these signings that offer this depth because they also offer that WSL experience. So we're going to have, obviously, we saw Ashley is now vice captain behind Sophie Barker, who is our captain. That's experience there. And we've got, I believe it's Abby McManus, who's the other vice captain. I always get her mixed with Abby Grant. I'm so sorry. But now we've got players like Gemma Purfield coming in from Bristol City, and she was great last season. Bristol fans coming in and saying she's great, like take good care of her. She's a really great player. And we've got Connie Schofield now coming in from Birmingham. We've got so many others that have that experience. I feel like everyone we've signed so far has had at least one bit of WSL experience, which is just going to add to the depth of this squad and that strength. And then we've got what we had last season still. We've still got Hannah Kane. We've still got Esme DeGraff. We've still got like that back line. We've got that midfield. We've got the forwards. I'm just naming the entire squad. We've got everyone ready to come back, and they're ready to prove themselves once again. And you can tell that they're excited to do so because we've seen all the build-up and we've seen the excitement from last season. And we're seeing players that were with us last season and prior who were previously at WSL clubs who are excited to go back up and kind of show themselves once again and kind of prove themselves against those former clubs. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, but it's great to know that we do have that depth and we are ready to take on the league and show who Leicester are.
Yeah, I think you're right. I know we nearly mentioned the whole squad there. One person who I thought was outstanding last year, Kirsty Lavelle. She kept us in a few games, and I thought she just looks like a really good goalkeeper. So it'd be good to see how she does this season. I think she'll do really, really well because she looks a really, really good goalkeeper that's confident, doesn't really let much past her. So I think she'll be another one to keep an eye out in the WSL.
Yeah, Kirsty's been phenomenal. I mean, Golden Glove in the league last season, and she was phenomenal against Manchester United in the FA Cup. She made so many critical saves, and she was doing that throughout the entire season. You know, sometimes we see goalkeepers have that amazing moment, but it only happens once or twice. And with her, it was a constant, it was consistent. So, like you said, I'm excited to see her as well. And she's just a great keeper. I mean, of course we're biased. We're a Leicester channel talking about Leicester, but she's genuinely a phenomenal player she's going back in the WSL. She's previously at Everton. She's going to come back up, and I can't wait to see what she does.
Yeah, and she'll have that experience. She was at Everton. She'll know what it's all about. And I think that's going to be good that we have also got other players in the team that are played in the WSL. They'll have that experience. And like you said, we've got a great captain, great vice captains. We speak to Ash regularly. We know that she'll help people on as well as off the pitch as much as she can. Sophie's exactly the same. And I think having them in your team as someone that the young ones can look up to, I think it's going to be really, really big for this season. Because at time it will get scary. There'll be a lot of media focus on some of the games due to the people we're playing and our position in the table. So I think what they're building at Leicester City is going to be really, really big in years to come.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be. And you mentioned there's going to be media focus, kind of putting some pressure on. But I feel like our players love media. We saw their Instagram stories and their posts on Media Day with the WSL, and it looked like they were just having a great time. So, and we also saw on BBC them harassing Heskey for like 2 minutes straight. So I think they really love their media. So I'm excited to see what content they give us as well, because it's just a all-around entertaining squad.
Yeah, and let's not forget last year they came on our channel and roasted you most weeks.
On occasion. I feel like everyone that comes on the show does that to me at least once.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fun. It's banter. It's good.
It's kind of an initiation.
Yeah, initiation for my own show.
Yeah.
So on Saturday, we are facing Aston Villa away. That'll be our first fixture of the season, a good Midlands derby. I'm excited for it. James, how are you feeling? It's kind of hard to say how we're going to do considering we don't know a ton about how preseason went. But how are you feeling going into that one?
Really excited. Obviously, we won the league last year. Nobody went. It was difficult, but really excited. We're going on the coach. Joe from the sports club's coming with me. Got front row tickets at Villa. Really, really looking forward to seeing us there. Also, having away fans at a game for the women's going to be really good, as well as the home stuff. But I know we're going to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, really excited. I saw that Emma Sanders tweeted yesterday that Villa was still looking for 3 players. If they don't get them across the line, might work into our hands. But on the whole, really looking forward to it. And also, it's our kind of first benchmark, isn't it? Of how good are we going to do in the WSL? And it's a local derby. Everyone loves a local derby.
Mm-hmm. I'm super bummed out that I won't be there for obvious reasons, but hopefully, I mean, every day I wake up and I'm like, the league is coming. I'm so excited. But then I realize I can't be there and I have no idea when I ever will be. So then the depression just hits and then I go on to work my 9-to-5 job and I'm just sad. So that's my life. But it's definitely going to be a good one. Like you said, Villa's still trying to get those signings in. We'll see how they do with that. And you guys are going to the game. That's going to be so much fun. Maybe we'll catch you on the stream. I'm excited as someone who's going to be watching from home that we are going to have different camera angles and replays now that we're in the WSL. I cannot wait.
It'll feel kind of weird for you to see a full pitch. Mm-hmm. And not just one that's covered by stands like you used to in the championship. So I think that's going to be really, really good. And no doubt me and Joe will make you feel part of it. We'll FaceTime you at some point, no doubt, to get you part of the atmosphere. But I think it'd be a great game. Speaking to a few Villa fans, they're really excited for it as well. And to be honest with you, there's quite a few WSL fans really looking forward to seeing Leicester in the WSL. And I think that's great to hear.
Yeah, and I think part of that comes from other fans being excited to see us is how well our owners are handling this club. And like you said, we were going to mention the home ground. So, of course, we're going to mention the home ground. The women's side will be playing at the KingPower Stadium this season as their home ground. Of course, in the case of match classes, they will be playing at, is it Pirelli? Is that how you say it? Pirelli Stadium. I tend to butcher so many words in the UK. So I had to make sure. But so I believe there's going to be 8 fixtures played at the KingPower. That first home game at that stadium will be against Manchester United. That's the same weekend that the men's side play Man City, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good back-to-back clash. That'll be really fun. I'm excited for that one. And I believe there's only 3 fixtures that won't be played at the KingPower, so it'll be good to see the ones that are. I can't wait to see fans in the stands, whichever stadium they're at. It's just going to be really great. And I imagine that the atmosphere, I know the club and the owners are wanting to go all out for this. So I can't wait to see what they do for that first home game.
Yeah, I think the first home game is going to be big. Like you said, there's 8 games. But it's interesting that there is 8 games, but that's currently. So obviously if the men's get changed due to TV, etc., or the WSL games get changed due to TV, it might be every game. That'd be amazing, every single game there. So fingers crossed that may happen. But the first game is going to be huge. We know what Leicester City is like. First game in the Premier League this season, there was flames, there was giveaways. There was stuff outside. They were giving away free beer and free water. It was a carnival atmosphere. And I think the first game of the WSL, it is the first game at the KingPower that fans have been allowed to for the women's team. I think they'll try and go all out for it. I think it'll be a huge game. But there's not many teams, I don't think, that have allowed their women's team to play at their home ground. If you think of all the big 6, apart from Liverpool in the Championship, they all play at different grounds that are not their men's grounds. I think the Birmingham play at St Andrews, I think.
Yeah, Birmingham and Reading, I believe, share the same stadiums as their men.
Yeah. So does that make us the biggest ground in the WSL?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I don't know much about sizes of grounds, so
Because obviously, when the King Power gets built on top of it, it's like 40,000 fans we could put in there.
Mhm.
And I think that's good because that will also attract other events in there.
Mhm.
So any Lioness matches that are not at Wembley and get moved out around the country, I think the King Power will be great to have something like that there.
Mhm.
But I think as a fan, so looking forward to it. King Power Stadium is probably probably a bit biased, probably one of the better stadiums I've been to outside of the Big Six because they've got gigantic stadiums.
Mhm.
But as a fan, sitting there and seeing the women come out down that tunnel will be so great to see.
Mhm.
And looking forward to Man United being the first game as well, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, and you mentioned that there aren't a ton of other sides in the league that offer the same experience as we are. We do see the big sides occasionally play in their men's stadiums, but it was like last season how the women only played in the King Power for their trophy lift game. It's those special occasions. So I think again, I'm biased as a Leicester fan, but I think what's amazing is that we're seeing our women's side who were just promoted being given the King Power. And when they were in that lower division, they were given Beaver Drive. So now they're in a Premier League training facility and they're also now in a Premier League home ground. So you can tell that, I mean, it's easy to say that we have phenomenal owners, even without looking at the women's side. Our owners at the men's side have been just amazing. We saw Top come over and give awards to our players last season on the women's side. How often do we see owners doing this type of stuff? So it's really safe to say that they are pushing for the women's side and they're wanting to grow that women's side. And we saw Top state that he's wanting to help grow that. And we've got Susan Whelan in charge as well. So like we're being treated so well. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I think one thing that has surprised me is when the King Power Stadium was announced. It was a huge thing. We go and play at the King Power Stadium,
Mhm.
and as a fan, who've got a men's season ticket. Just think, oh, it'd be great to have a women's one. And then a lot of fans are trying to work out how much would be, and it's £40 for 11 games.
Yeah.
That works out at £3.50 a game.
Like why not why wouldn't you get the season ticket? Why not?
I know,
If it's that cheap.
I know. It's just unbelievable that I think yes, it's the first season and they're trying to attract fans into the King Power, but
Mhm.
season tickets that low priced is just unbelievable. And I think again, it's a great credit to the way the clubs run. They
Yeah.
know what fans want. They know they've just been through a pandemic and there's not much money around,
Mhm.
and this extra outlay is going to be there. But they've made it so cheap that I can't believe that I can go to 11 home games for £40. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. And isn't it like £8 or something like that for just one ticket? If
Six
you want to
pounds.
go to one, six,
Yeah,
even cheaper.
yeah,
That's to me that's crazy. Like that's really cheap. So why
exactly.
not go? Go support the women's team. It's easy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they'll start to do a lot more fan engagement at the home games as well for the women's team. Obviously, they've
Mhm.
not been able to do anything the last few years because of where they've been and the pandemic. So I think this is going to be a really big season for the fans.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited to see what they do. And like I said before, it sucks I can't be there to experience it all. But I'm excited. And just kind of talking about the show a bit, because it's a new season, not just for the team, but it's a new season for us. We've got some exciting stuff coming up, and we're really excited to be bringing content yet again. So I think it's going to be a great season for the club. I think it's going to be a great season for us on the show. Fingers crossed. I mean, why wouldn't it be? And yeah, we've got some exciting stuff on the go that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I think as far as we're concerned, yes, we have got lots of stuff to do this year. Really, really excited of what we've got planned throughout the season. And I can't wait to get started. So I think Saturday's the first kind of start of that. Let's get to the Villa game, and then we'll take it from there. But hopefully, we'll get a few guests on the next few weeks. We're also happy to have some opponent fans on as well at some point, which I think will be really good and exciting to have on, as well as the usual guests that we have on. So I think it's going to be a great season for us. And I'm so excited to be following Leicester throughout the WSL, home and away. It's going to be such a great season for us. It's exciting, yes, because it's our first season, but I think every season is going to be like this for us. And the anticipation is going to be great. So I can't get wait to get started, if I'm honest.
And just before, I'm not sure if there's anything else you're wanting to add, but I'm going to throw you a curveball because you like to do this to me, but I'm going to ask you this question. Where do you predict Leicester to fall on the table this season?
Sixth.
Yeah. You said that. No problem.
Sixth. What's your prediction?
You know, I don't like predictions. I don't like jinxing things. As long as we are out of that relegation zone, I'm happy. I mean, it's our first season in the top flight.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna set the bar like super high. Of course, I want to sit here and say we're gonna win the league, but it's our first season in the league, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I just think, yes, it's a first season. We're not gonna, although I'd love them to be there or thereabouts. Gonna be quite realistic, and I think 6 probably mid-table realistic where I think they can be.
Yeah.
And that's probably what I'd want to aim for, kind of mid-table for the first season, and then build on that the season after. With this great owners, great management, great coaching staff that we've got, and just build on it season on season. Just a bit like we've done with the men's team. Just keep building and getting better and better.
Exactly. And I know we have, like you said, we've got the staff, we've got the players. Jonathan is ready to take on the league. Players are ready to take on the league. The club is ready, clearly, because they're making all these big moves. So it's going to be a great season, and I'm sure they'll do well.
Yep. Fingers crossed.
Is there any last things that you're wanting to add before I kind of throw in the final promotions?
No, it's been a great show. Really, really looking forward to the season starting. And no doubt we'll be doing this weekly, talking to different fans, getting different people on to interview. So no, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. We shout out to Her Game Too, one of our partners. Check out all of their stuff on their social medias. They're doing some great campaigns. The Leicester City Women's Supporters Club. It's our first season in the WSL. The Supporters Club has been amazing in the past. They've got so many big plans this season. If you haven't signed up yet, go check out their Twitter and sign up. It's just a Google form. It takes 2 seconds. It's no problem, and you'll get your member number. We've got some exciting plans with them this season that I can't wait for. And then shout out to Memphis Charity as well. We'll be doing some work with them this season, which we're super duper excited about. We've teamed up with quite a few people on that front, so it's going to be awesome. And then finally, we are nominated. We are a finalist for a Football Content Award. Thank you so much to everyone who's voted for us to help get us into that position. Honestly, I never expected it. So it's really great that we're being recognized. So thank you so much, everyone that's helped us get there. You can vote for us as a finalist to make it into the top 3. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much. James will probably pop a link down in the description. You can also check our social medias for links in bio, or you can even just tweet, I am voting for @Beyond the 90 LCFC Women and hashtag BestInWomensFootball at the Football Content Awards. Thank you so much. That's a whole spiel. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching us and for your support. It's greatly appreciated. We would not be here without you guys. And yeah, we'll see you this season.